During the development of Halo, Combat Evolved the game was planned to be a real-time strategy, like Age of Empires, but as they were making the game they realized that it would be more fun if you could control a specific soldier instead of giving orders to the battalion. This radical change in direction made possible the game we now remember as the game that revolutionized a genre and changed the history of first-person shooters as we know them. I'm your average indie dev, and today I want to talk about how ideas can evolve and when should we follow the new direction or stay with what we currently have. So first, how can this happen? How can you have a game and change it mid-development? The first reason is making the game more fun. I already gave you an example of this, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a complete change of genre. It could be, for example, working on a DLC for your game and adding more and more things, until it has so much content that it becomes the game's sequel. That's how Silksong got made, or at least is being made. When done right, these additions can lead to a better product, making a game go from good to great. But sometimes you're making a game and suddenly you realize you don't have enough money or enough time. Here you have to reduce the content of your game, but it would be horrible if the game suddenly ended before the story concludes, so you have to redesign most of it to account for a good ending and your budget. Dark Souls suffered of this. That's why the first half is considered good and the second one bad, but I want to focus on my personal experience with this, with my own game, Experimental Box. When I first started working on it, I knew I wanted to make a physics-based game, so I designed gameplay that encouraged you to use those mechanics. But while I was making concept art and looking at all the things I needed to create to make that gameplay work, I realized it was too much for me, and decided to scrap it all and go for a much simpler focus, sandbox where there is no objective like Garry's Mod or Minecraft in creative mode. This way, players can have all the freedom they want and I can actually finish the game. I will release the first demo when the next video is done. So, if you liked this video, subscribe, and if you want to know more about my game, check out this video. I'm your average indie dev and thanks for listening.